следующей серии убийство в табачной лавке. Вообще это запись. В общем-то неплохой, но неплохо он звучит на PS4. А вот при трансляциях что-то не получается добиться желаемого эффекта. Ладно, посмотрим, как будет вообще запись, как будет звук. Если будет сносно, то, пожалуй, даже выложу это видео. Так, значит, мы вернулись с табачной фабрики. Так, изучить.
No doubt about it. Hastings is going bored.
You're not going to get the post?
Yes, yes, of course. Andover, Hampshire, population 31,200 inhabitants.
200 человек. Так, что у нас еще есть? Лошадка. Еще что? Что-то как-то ущербно.
It is not the right time.
Сейчас не время для телефона. Кажется, ругаться не будет.
Ah, some cool air.
Прохладный воздух. Сесть можно. И все. Записная книжка. Так, был Джоп. Проверила. Глава 1. Читать письмо. А, у меня даже голова 1 еще получается. А, вот письмо лежит. Что, почитаем, давайте. А, надо еще и все переворачивать.
Dear Mr. Poirot, well, what do you think? I believe that I won this round. The Andover affair went like clockwork, don't you feel? But the fun has only just started. I would like to draw your attention to Bexhilll on Sea on the 25th of this month. We're having a crazy time. Best wishes, ABC. The next crime will be in Bexhilll. We must warn Jap to Scotland Yard.
Did the letter indicate anything that might help the police?
To be honest, I think we can already guess something about the next victim. But I need to think about it a little more. Daily Flicker, June the 22nd, 1935. Battle over control of bank system. What will the government do for money? Andover, Murder of a tobacconist.
Уже спекулируют на этим. Поздравляем, вы получаете приз. Газета. Так, получим приз. Так, с ним еще поговорим.
Hastings, it would appear that you are getting slightly thin on top.
Really? I hadn't noticed.
Я не заметил. Ну, плешивит уже гостинство. Нервная работа. Так, сравнить новое письмо с первым. Это, то есть мне вот здесь написано.
Dear Mr. Poirot, well, what do you think? I believe that I won this round. The end of our affair went like clockwork, don't you feel? But the fun has only just started. We're having a crazy time.
Понятно, понятно.
Let us examine this more closely. Certain characters in the two letters may have similar defects. Yes, this I is weird. Right, let us compare this with the other letter. Yes, the I characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. I have to find some other similar defects to confirm my theory. Let us examine the characters in this word. Right, let us compare this with the other letter. No, this character does not appear to have any defects. Let us examine another word. Let us examine the characters in this word. Let us examine the the W is not printed properly. Let us examine the characters in this word. The W is not printed properly. Right. Let us compare this with the other.
с буквы W. Есть такая маленькая W. Срегас.
Of course, the W characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. I have to find some other similar defects to confirm my theory. Yes, the A appears... Right, let us compare this with the... That's right. The A characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. My theory was right. These two letters were written with the same typewriter. Both letters were written on the same typewriter and show the same characteristics.
You surprise me, Poirot. You usually ignore material proof.
But there is nothing usual about this case, Hastings. Nothing must be overlooked. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Теперь надо поработать маленьким. Так, что особенного в убийстве в Добро? Есть. Что сообщает о убийстве? Бексхилл, Игровой, жертва, фамилия.
So, Poirot, have you found something?
Oui, I believe so. But I am afraid it is not enough to stop the murderer. Let us go and see Chief Inspector Chapa. I will explain there.
It may be time to go to Scotland Yard.
Так, дайте.
It may be time to go to Scotland Yard.
To Scotland Yard, please.
Это приспокоение нашу коллекцию так, а может что-то и можно было сделать. Так.
Like all hunters, Hastings has always been fascinated by weapons. Like all hunters, Hastings has always been fascinated by weapons. Jap has invested a great deal in his career. Jap is an investigator greatly respected by his peers. London. I really like this city. One thing is certain, you never get bored here. London. I really like this city. Alice Asher was murdered in Andover, the ABC killer's first murder. Jap appears to be snowed under. Jap appears to already be overloaded with work. My news is not going to improve matters. Bonjour, Chief Inspector. I am afraid we have some bad news. I have just received another letter signed ABC. The next crime will be on the 25th in Bexhilл-on-Sea.
Are you completely sure it's from the same person?
I have compared the two letters. There is no doubt about it.
I suppose you think he's going to carry out his threats.
I fear so.
Good God, Poirot. Bexhill is very busy at this time of year, and we have no idea who the next victim will be.
I suspect that the name of the second victim will start with B.
What on earth makes you think such a thing?
I thought about it when I saw the name Asher clearly written on the shop door of the unfortunate woman who was murdered in Andover last month. When I received a letter mentioning Bexhill, I deduced that the victim, like the town, might have been chosen by alphabetical order.
So it's an alphabet fiend. I'm going to have a list drawn up of all the people whose name starts with B. I hope there aren't too many of them.
Bien, we should leave you to work, Chief Inspector.
You have a few days to prepare yourself.
Thank you for coming, my friends.
Poirot?
Chief Inspector Jap, your call does not bode well.
Indeed, we have just found the body of a young woman on the beach in Bexhill. An ABC was placed on the body.
We'll be there as soon as possible.
Нашли тело молодой женщины. Никого мы так и не спасли в итоге. Так, новая задача. Поговорить с Джепом. Бексхилл.
Bexhill is a delightful town. It would be nice to come back and visit.
I do not entirely agree. Walking at the beach damages my shoes, and it hurts my knee.
So the years have not spared you, my friend. It's the same for all of us.
That is exactly what I said to myself when I saw you back from your travels.
Poirot!
Do not be offended, Hastings. I can see Jap waiting for us. And from his face, I would say that things are not looking good. Hastings appears to be ill at ease. He appeared to be relatively indifferent to Mrs. Asher's murder, but the young woman's murder seems to be troubling him greatly.
How do you do, gentlemen?
Chief Inspector?
I fear your admirer has struck again, Poirot. We haven't yet identified the victim, but it's a young woman, 20 to 25 years old. Death occurred last night between 11:30 and 1 o'clock, and we found an ABC guide on the body.
Was she pretty?
Come on, Poirot, that's rather out of place. It has no bearing on the murder.
Are you certain? For women, it is often the most important thing. It often decides their destiny.
The body hasn't been moved. You can see for yourself.
Has the press been informed?
Not yet, but I'm planning to. I haven't yet informed them about the presence of the ABC guide in Andover.
Nobody has reported a young woman missing?
Not for the moment.
No witnesses, I imagine.
Indeed. We've asked everybody who may have met a young woman fitting her description last night to come and see us, but I have little hope of gaining anything from it.
It's early days, Chief Inspector, and the news may not have spread around the town yet.
I hope you're right, Hastings.
The guide is open at the page for the Bexhil train times. A braided silk belt. It may have belonged to the victim. She was a great beauty. Strange that chap didn't notice it. These marks have been left by a rope or braided cloth. Apart from the marks on her neck, there are no signs of the struggle. She didn't manage to hit her assailant. This key is too small to be one for a house. Without a doubt, it is for a padlock. The young woman wasn't wearing shoes or a coat, and was not carrying a bag. That's strange. Either the murderer stole her belongings, or she put them somewhere safe. Maybe so that she could bath. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. The poor child must have been strangled with his braided belt. Unfortunately, in view of the fabric, it is unlikely that we will find any prints. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Что лучше, наверное, убийство такое? Только что же это уже было убийство. Лица сумели с багажником убийства.
The medical officer should confirm that the victim was strangled with her own belt.
That's what I thought. She shows the usual signs of strangulation.
With a little luck, we'll find prints this time.
You are too optimistic, Hastings. Our killer is far too meticulous for that.
Перчатку еще, по-моему, не научились. Чинить усевший на запястье быть
A dual locking padlock. I need to find the code and then insert a key. Firstly, I have to enter the padlock's code.
Время между четко с прохидом, 12 часа ночи. По порядочку,
This hat is locked. This hat is locked. This hat is locked. The number is upside down. This is definitely at number 6. A dual locking padlock. I need to find the code and then insert a key. Firstly, I have to enter the padlock's code. definitely was here that the victim left her belongings. The purse is full. Yet again, we can dismiss theft as the motive for the murder. Here is the watch she must have removed to prevent it from getting wet. A top-brand lipstick. She liked to take care of her appearance. As well as a photo of the victim with some company. It could be useful to me. Betty's first day at work. Mom is very proud of you. Elizabeth Barnard, 7 August 1931. So, the young lady did have a name starting with B, and she worked as a ginger cat, an establishment that must be slightly further along the beach.
Jap has gone to the police. The victim has been identified and her family had reported her disappearance. She was called
Elizabeth Barnard, mainly Betty. She worked as a ginger cat at the cafe slightly further along the beach.
But Poirot, how on earth?
Never mind. Do you have her address?
Yes, she lived with her parents on the street leading to the beach, number 22. Shall we go?
You are far too impatient, Hastings. Let the poor people take in the news first. Let us go and visit the cafe where Betty worked. Could it be the same buildings as on the victim's photo? This is definitely where the photo I found in the hut was taken. Hastings appears to be ill at ease. He appeared to be relatively... I fear that this case is far from being solved.
Come on, Poirot. You'll find the killer.
Certes. But how many times will he kill before I do?
Так, что у нас дальше?
I'll be with you in a minute, gentlemen.
Something tells me that she is the owner of the ginger cat. This woman must be the owner of the ginger cat. It looks like something is bothering her.
How can I help you?
A hot chocolate and a tea for my friend, please.
I'll bring it straight away.
What a pity. I don't have any chance to make it work.
What are you going to do, Poirot?
Look for clues, mon cher ami. I need to know the time range during which Betty was working on her own. These are the different waiting staff's bills. Which ones were written by Betty? Where is Betty? Betty worked from 11 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Would she have been alone at any time during her service? Betty worked from 11 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. This page won't help me. No, this person is not the last one to have worked. No, this person... Interesting. Betty was alone between 5 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Who did she serve?
Теперь надо найти, да.
Interesting. Betty was alone between 5 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Who did she serve?
Сейчас надо, значит, чеки.
Most probably a single man, a whiskey lover, maybe the murderer? This bill may have been written by Betty. There is probably another one. No, something's not right. Betty was... Most probably a single man, a whiskey lover, maybe the... This bill may have been written... No, something's not right. This bill may have been written by Betty. There is probably another one. Most probably a family. No, something's not right. Betty was alone at just one.
Значит.
probably a single man. This bill may... No, something's not right. Maybe I should consider... This bill may have been written by Betty. There is probably another one. Betty wasn't serving on her own at these two times. Let's keep searching. This bill may have been written by Betty. There is... Betty wasn't serving on her own at these two times. Let's... Most probably a family. This bill may have been written by Betty. No, something's not right. Where is Betty? Interesting. Betty was alone between 5 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Who did she serve? Betty worked from 11 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Would she have been alone at any time during her service? Interesting. Betty was alone between 5... This bill may have been... Betty wasn't serving on her own at these two times. This bill may have been written by Betty. Betty wasn't serving on... Maybe I should consult the register again. I must be missing something. This bill may have been written by Betty. There is probably another one. Betty wasn't serving on her own at this... This bill may have been written by Betty. Most probably a single man, a whiskey lover. No, something's not right. Betty was alone at just one of these two times. Where is Betty? Interesting. Betty was alone between 5 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Who did she serve? Betty worked from 11 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Would she have been alone at any time during her service? This bill may have been... Betty wasn't serving on her own at these two times. Most probably if... This bill may have been written by Betty. Most probably a single man. Betty served a family and a man on his own, a whiskey drinker. Maybe the murderer. This information will help me to progress.
What? Gentlemen, what are you doing?
We are searching for clues, mademoiselle. My name is Hercule Poirot. I am a detective, and this is Captain Hastings. Does Betty Barnard work here?
That is correct. She should have been here a while ago. Punctuality is the first rule of politeness.
I fear that Miss Barnard will not be coming today. She has just been found, dead, on the beach a few hundred meters from the cafe.
How awful. Poor young thing. What happened?
She appears to have been murdered.
This is most distressing. How this will affect my business, I shudder to think.
Да блин, что наймешь, ну, сказать, что это добавит городу популярности. Спроси, что она знает об Ritor.
What can you tell us about Miss Barnard?
Nothing, absolutely nothing. Miss Barnard was my employee, her private life was none of my business.
You did know at least that she had a young man.
Indeed.
Подозрительность. Такая, да, спросить, изображен ли на фото ее молодой человек. Спросить, мог ли молодой человек напасть на нее. Так,
This photo was found. Is this him?
Yes, that's him all right. But I haven't seen him for some time.
голова, колбаса, чуть немного времени трудно потратить. Спросить, все ли было в порядке в их отношениях. Так, помогите мне ответить, что нравственностью молодежи проблемы.
I find young people today very hard to understand.
You needn't tell me that. A few weeks ago, they argued just outside the cafe. Imagine what my customers must have thought.
Do you know the reason for the dispute?
I'm not on those sort of terms with my staff. Now, please excuse me, I have work to do.
The customer who ordered a whiskey might provide us more information. He may have been the last one to see Betty alive.
It is an interesting idea, Hastings. Maybe he is a regular guest. What do you think, mademoiselle?
I don't think so. Our regular guests tend to order tea and cakes. At this time of the year, there are a lot of tourists about you never see again.
That's what I thought. Time to visit Betty's home. This is a well-laid table. Nothing is out of place and, above all, no creases.
Чтобы заработать в Скиага, ведите себя как Hercule Poirot. Чаще смотрите. Так, свидетель. Очень мало знаю, конечно, жизнь своих пацанов, двигаться в прошлом. Так, прикидом выйти, хай-стрит 22.
How do you do, mademoiselle? My name is Hercule Poirot.
I know you. You're that detective we hear all about.
I do not know if that is a compliment, but I will take it as one for now. You are Betty's sister, I believe?
Yes. My name is Megan.
Can we come in?
Please do. My parents are at the police station. I doubt they'll be up to speaking to you later.
Do not worry, we will not bother them.
Did you know your sister's plans for yesterday evening?
No. I arrived by train this morning. My parents called me in a panic when they discovered that Betty had disappeared. She went out last night, but she didn't tell them where she was going.
What was your last conversation about?
Her new dress. She wanted a pair of black stockings to go with it. Mother brought her a pair. The very day it happened. She was crying. And to think that Betty never even wore them. Poor Mummy.
This gramophone is magnificent. It is a one-off, without a doubt. Family photos and files. The Barnard appeared to make music a priority in their budget. They're all Miss Modest, but the Barnards are definitely music lovers. It would not be polite to visit the house without being invited to do so. What is she feeling at the moment?
Пристальный взгляд.
Mr. Poirot, I don't like being stared at. If you have something to say, would you please say it to me?
Betty's older sister is not just sad, she's angry. Your sister had a fiancé, I believe?
Yes, he's called Donald Fraser. A very nice man.
Was your sister seeing anyone else?
My sister wasn't a child, sir. She used to go out. She enjoyed films, dancing. She was a very good girl who didn't hang around with men. That's what they always say, no?
The pain is making you bitter, Mademoiselle Barnard.
I'm not interested in your compassion, Mr. Poirot.
Très bien, mademoiselle. Could you at least tell me a little about Betty's young man?
His name is Donald Fraser, a very nice young man. Oh, excuse me, I have to answer that.
But of course.
Betty's room is opposite the stairs on the first floor. Feel free to take a look if you think it might be useful.
This young woman is far too clever not to have anything else for us.
Do you think she's hiding something?
That is what I'm trying to find out. I did not say anything of the sort. But young women always ruin your judgment, Hastings. Who knows, maybe Megan was jealous of her attractive young sister.
I see. She may have had her sights on the inheritance. Or maybe she was in love with Donald Fraser.
We have to study all scenarios, even the most unlikely. But I doubt that Mr. and Mrs. Barnard are rich enough to justify murder. While I try and get Miss Barnard to talk, I would like you to try and find Donald Fraser. He should be easy to find the estate agents where he works. Bring him to the Ginger Cat. I would like to talk with him before the Chief Inspector finds him. It looks like Betty was also a music lover, the same as her family. Without a doubt, Betty used to sing. It looks like Betty has a very busy life. Betty liked luxury and going out, and being as pretty as she was, she probably did not have any problem getting herself invited. Something on this clock bothers me. Strange. A sheet of paper is blocked in the clock. What a strange mechanism. I don't think it serves to turn the hands. The cogs are blocked by these wooden panels. cogs are blocked by these wooden panels. The cogs are blocked. The cogs are blocked by the.
Ладно, пока не. Сказочка моя. А, вот. Наверное, вот сюда ты.
This metal disc is stuck.
Да. Чё смотреть день?
This wooden panel is blocked. I can't open it.
Сколько времени это надо? Какая подсказка?
There, that's better.
С этими что теперь делать?
The cogs are blocked by these wooden panels.
Надо вот эти поднять.
The cogs are blocked by these wooden panels. The cogs are blocked by the. The cogs are blocked by these wood.
Здесь стоит, что вообще ничего не вижу. Ну или я уж, конечно, так догадываюсь. Что-то многовато, может, для того, чтобы записи. Ладно, еще.
This small key should be useful to me.
Так, ключик.
I've finished with this subject.
Так, что
Medicine to prevent voice loss. Did Betty have problems with her voice? Looking at all the clothes she took out, Betty must have had a problem deciding what to wear. Maybe she had a date? A record sleeve with an handwritten title. Betty must have recorded a demo. I'd be interested to hear it.
Чё, там же есть этот потихонечку.
A record sleeve with
Маленький ключ из драгоценности не дойти.
Without a doubt, Betty used to sing.
А, уже нельзя это ставить.
I have not finished inspecting Betty's bedroom. I have not finished inspecting a box of news.
Чулки одно не дело, да?
Betty liked luxury and going out, and being as pretty as she was, she probably did not have any problem getting herself invited.
Что-то надо. Ключ-то наверх. Здесь.
Something on this clock bothers me. This metal disc This metal disc is stuck. This metal disc is stuck.
Застрял. Нет, что, опять надо все.
There, that's better. This metal disc is stuck.
С этой вот почему-то я не помню.
What a strange mechanism. I don't think it serves to turn the hands.
Вообще стрелки бессмысленно. Чё тут как? Я их... Что-то меняется вообще. Чуть-чуть можно двигаться. Двигать пока. Какой-нибудь из этих что-то сработает,
The cogs are blocked by these. The cogs are blocked. The cogs are blocked by these. cogs are blocked by this wooden...
И что у меня есть? Я отсюда уйти не могу. Подсказывать, что-то я тоже скажу смысл. Стоит. Ключ. Вообще хер знает, что подсказывать. Да, может мне надо.
The cogs are blocked by...
Ключиком сюда как печально. По идее, что надо, чтобы вот этого держать на суше. Дальше можно будет этим тащить. То есть надо до души.
The cogs are blocked. This wooden panel is blocked. I can't open it. Could the screw be slightly loose? Good. It should be possible to open the wooden panel. Look, a key. This could be useful. This code probably has something to do with the mechanism above the clock. This code probably has some...
Три.
Something clicked on the front of the clock. A new lock has appeared. What does it open? This could be useful. Betty, I enjoyed a wonderful evening in your company, and I hope that we will see each other again very soon. D. My dearest Betty, I know that your art is already spoken for, but you are the most beautiful dancer I have ever had the pleasure of meeting, and I am impatient to see you again. Adrian.
Ну, скоро. С тобой-то что-нибудь можно крутить-то?
Let us see. What is this cupboard hiding? This looks like solfège.
Ой, это что, сыграть надо было? Четыре. Четыре плюс один, плюс один, четыре.
This looks like solfège. This looks like solfège. There is bound to be a clue somewhere.
Так. Значит, две тройки. Тройки дают двойку. Там все комбинации. Две двойки дают единицу. Единица дает это.
There is bound to be a clue somewhere. I heard the sound of a mechanism being triggered. I cannot open it. It looks like the mechanism. That doesn't work. I must have forgotten a step. It looks like something goes in here. That doesn't work. I must have forgotten a step. That doesn't work. I must have forgotten a step. I cannot open it. It looks like... That doesn't work. I must have... just have to put the record on the gramophone and start it.
Я же подзавел уже ролик. Задача. Что делать, как же быть? Что же делать, как же быть? Кнопка должна сжаться, чё? Чё не так-то? Чё-то она до этого жалась, сейчас не жмется. Может, я ничего не отключу? Блин, божечки мои. Она надо издевается, что ли? А, вот.
Oh, Donald! We're in the middle of recording.
Sorry, Betty, but it's not wise. The doctor said you should rest your voice.
You're such a killjoy sometimes.
Дональд.
Betty was such a good singer.
It's true. Did she have any problem with her throat?
Yes, she had to be careful with her voice. Of course, she didn't follow the doctor's advice. If Don didn't insist, she...
Не настоял, но
Well, it's too late for all that now.
губами-то не шевелит. Гуляла. Обручена с Дональдом Фрейзером. А, так где Дональд? Значит, не убийца, но оттуда.
It is not the right time.
А, чё так,
It looks like this woman is single, but she has feelings for someone. She is looking so intensely at this photo. But is it really a sister that she's studying in this manner?
Продолжим допрос.
They made a perfect couple, am I correct?
Yes, in a way. She was pretty and he...
Well,
He's a bright man, with a promising career ahead of him. He would have made Betty a good husband. He was always attentive and generous. Oh, a true gentleman.
I hear a note of envy in your voice.
Зависти в вашем голосе.
You must have heard wrong.
Слух вас подводит. А может, не подводит.
Donald appears to be very much in love with your sister.
Yes, he was mad about her.
Mad, you say? Being madly in love can often be destructive, and Mr. Fraser was known for being jealous, I believe.
No more than average. Men are always slightly possessive, especially when they are with a pretty woman.
Ну а как иначе? Ты чё? Вкладываешься в нее, переживаешь. Конечно.
am not your enemy, Mademoiselle Bernard.
And you are not my friend either, Mr. Poirot, sir.
Yes, but your lies are not helping Mr. Fraser, or you for that matter. I know that Fraser was jealous, but I wonder why you feel the need to protect him.
Protect him? I hope you're not suggesting...
That you are Fraser's accomplice? There is nothing to suggest that, at least not yet. It would appear that your sister's murder is the second in a series that we have to stop as quickly as possible. The first was in Andover, and the same as your sister, the murderer sent me a letter informing me that a crime would be committed in that town. Now can I count on your honesty?
Yes, you have my confidence, Mr. Poirot. Don is a quiet and sensitive young man, slightly reserved too, and as is often the case with reserved people, when he flew into a temper, he completely lost control. He could be so violent. Betty was frightened.
And when was this?
The first time was about a year ago, but they rowed more recently. Donald found out that Betty had lied to him. She said she was going out with a girlfriend, but she went out for dinner with a married man. It was an awful scene. She told him that until they were married, she was free to go with whoever she pleased. Donald turned quite pale and started shaking and kept saying one day...
Well?
He'd commit murder.
Спросить, боится ли она, что...
So you were afraid that you would become our main suspect. I know that Fraser was jealous, but I wonder why you feel the need to protect him.
Exactly. Had you not told me about the case, I would never have dared to tell you about this little matter. Don loved Betty with all his heart. I can't imagine for one instant that he would hurt her.
Very good, Mademoiselle Bernard. Thank you for your help.
Fraser is at the Ginger Cat. The police haven't spoken to him, but they want to.
Très bien, Hastings. Let's see him now. Au revoir, mademoiselle. My deepest condolences to your parents.
Of course, Mr. Poirot.
Передам мистер.
And don't be too hard on Don. He's more fragile than he looks.
If you say so. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Так, чем быстро, вечер. Так, наблюдение, вероятно, чем быстро собиралась будьте бы активны в прошлой жизни. Обоснованно другими мужчинами. Почему так получается? Эти собраны, потому что они другим мужчинам.
Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Что касается Чё столько что-то, блин. У Дональда был мотив для убийства Бетти. Что-то можно составлять. Так, что закроется за поведением Меган Бернард? Это вот это расследовано, а здесь мне улик не хватает. Поздравляем, этот приз пополнил вашу коллекцию усы морж.
You've seen Fraser listings. What is your feeling?
He's a big chap. Fragile isn't exactly the word that springs to mind. I talked to his landlady before seeing him. She went to bed at 11. Fraser wasn't home yet.
Yeah. Megan Barnard said he's a reserved character but with a nasty temper. We will see if this is the case.
Вы видели 50 призов, которые можно разблокировать. Они перечислены в разделе дополнительно.
How do you do, Mr. Fraser?
You're Hercule Poirot. Mr. Hastings said you wanted to speak to me.
Yes. I know that it may not be the right time, but I would like to ask you a few questions. This man looks suspicious. Donald Fraser is in a terrible state, as if he hadn't slept all night. And he's drinking White Horse.
White Horse.
Leave me alone. Tell me that it's a mistake. That Betty isn't dead.
Sadly, your lady friend has been murdered, Mr. Fraser.
Oh, Betty, if only you'd listened.
Встречал ли он с Бетти вчера после обеда, сказав, что Бетти делала, что хотела, спросить, что было бы, если бы она послушалась.
If she had listened to you, she would still be alive. Should I take that to be a confession?
With that sort of thinking, you must send a lot of innocent men to prison. Under different circumstances, I might even find you amusing, sir.
It's no time for amusement, Mr. Fraser. It is time to find your fiance's killer. Did you know what her plans were for the evening?
She said she was having dinner with her sister.
уточнить, что ее сестра была в Лондоне.
Yet, Megan only returned to Bexhill this morning, Mr. Fraser.
I didn't know.
Right. May I ask you what you were doing yesterday evening?
I spent the evening working.
Your colleagues can confirm this?
No, I often take work home with me.
Обвинить... Так, обвинить в том, что он лжет, как быть. Сказать, что у него... Сказать, что у него нет алиби.
Therefore, you have no alibi, Mr. Fraser.
That's right. But that doesn't make me a murderer, Mr. Poirot. I would like you to leave now, please.
Чё ты, не попутал ничего, блин? Взял такой.
Ah, I knew I'd find you here, Poirot. I thought the victim's young man was here.
Yes, is all yours, Chief Inspector. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Дональда Так, Дональда есть активно все.
Fraser doesn't have an alibi and he's extremely jealous.
You are very skilled at summing up.
And yet you haven't asked Jap to arrest him.
It is too soon. But I agree, without the letters announcing the crimes, Fraser would already be behind bars. Bon, I think we have enough elements. Let's reconstruct the events at the scene of the crime.
I can't imagine how the murderer wasn't seen, though. Surely she must have struggled.
Let us try and imagine the scene. The killer and the victim are walking on the beach. Miss Betty has a bag, a belt around her waist, and carries her shoes in her hand. Both of them walk slowly to hut number 5. Both of them walk slowly to hut number 6. Miss Betty enters the hut. She leaves without her belongings. Then she hides a coat. They keep walking. Then she removes her belt.
The murderer moves behind her and then attacks her by surprise. The body falls, lifeless, on the sand.
Everything appears to match the crime scene, mon cher Hastings. That is exactly what happened.
Сложные все загадки. Единственное, что иногда просто что-нибудь не заметишь, как с этими часами, блин. Сразу.
Without the ABC, we might have suspected Mr. Asher and Mr. Fraser. But by signing his crimes, the murderer is making sure he's accused. In a way, it is very generous of him.
Generous? The murderer seduced Betty in order to lure her to the beach and kill her.
Indeed, the young woman was certainly careless. but not stupid enough to follow a stranger.
What are you planning to do, Poirot?
Return to London, mon cher Hastings. Right, back to London. There is nothing more for us to do here.
В разделе дополнительно можно увидеть реконструкции и восстановление событий каждого преступления.
Chap has decided to reveal details to the press. The alphabet murder is now famous.
It is not a bad idea. The more people who know, the greater our chances of finding out something of interest.
Poirot, I have a bad feeling.
Опять, наверное, письмо.
Poor Mr. Poirot, not so good at these little criminal matters as you thought yourself, are you? Rather past your prime, perhaps. Let us see if you can do any better this time. This time, it's an easy one. Churston on the 30th. Do try and do something about it. It's a bit dull having it all my own way, you know. Good hunting. Ever yours, ABC. Good hunting. Did you hear that, Poirot? The murderer seems to be taking it all as a game, a challenge. He will strike on 30th in Churston. We must warn Scotland Yard. No time to lose. We must prepare our suitcases for Churston.
Mon Dieu, it is already 10 o'clock. I will call Scotland Yard immediately. Hello, chap. We received a new letter from ABC in the 10 o'clock post.
Where and when?
In Churston. Today.
Today? I'll inform the population immediately.
I'll check the train times. Call me back.